Today's episode here at Coach's Archives is a major Sound of Freedom updates video. As our international friends prepare to watch the movie for the first time, we continue to see a lot of good things happening in America. We're going to see some of the latest positive impact that the movie has made. We're also going to see how the United States Congress was able to go and see the film for free, and what happened may shock you. We see more reports of foul play as moviegoers take out their cameras and record what's happening. And finally, we see a video that has gone viral. It's gained over 2.4 million views, and in that video, apparently, Mark Wahlberg exposes Hollywood for the suppression of Sound of Freedom and exposes who Hollywood actually is. But is that video true? All this and more here at Coach's Archives. Sound of Freedom update time. Let's go. If you have an appreciation for truth and honesty with no spin, hit that subscribe button. In today's opening story, we see Fox Carolina's report saying upstate organization uses Sound of Freedom to bring awareness to child transportation. On Wednesday, the Set Free Alliance organization played a screening of the movie at Camelot Cinemas in Greenville. Just a week before the movie came out, Set Free Alliance rescued more than 7,600 kids from 17 different South Asian mines, and since 2012, they've rescued more than 80,000 kids. The CEO of Set Free Alliance, Sarah Kelly, said, "Some people don't know how big of a problem child slavery and human transportation is." We continue to see the positive impact that Sound of Freedom has had on the following report from Newsweek, reporting Sound of Freedom reveals rising power of Jesus in Hollywood. We will be doing a deep dive on that article. Look for that episode tomorrow. The article goes into a lot of detail and depth, talking about how we're experiencing a Jesus 2.0 movement. One of the issues there, of course, is that Sound of Freedom isn't necessarily a faith-based film. Remember that it was actually made by Fox, purchased by Disney, and Angel Studios, of course, obtained the distribution rights. Thank goodness. The article claims that Sound of Freedom has had such a widespread positive impact that more and more production studios will be releasing more faith-based films, and even some of them are creating faith-based wings in their studios. Now, it stands to reason that these people are doing this because they see the money that can be made. After all, faith-based films do not cost a lot of money. The $14 million budget that Sound of Freedom had and executed is laughable when you compare it to major studios. And yet, that little $14 million movie has already made over $125 million, and it hasn't even gone overseas yet. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy held a screening of the film Sound of Freedom, and he invited both sides of the aisle of Congress to come and see the movie. And the speaker said, hopefully Republicans and Democrats can come together, see a movie about human transportation, and actually find ways to stop human transportation that's continuing to move throughout the world. So the Republicans and Democrats go to the movies together. What could go wrong? The Republicans love the film and have posted all about it on social media. As for the Democrats, none of them went. That's right, folks. None of them went. Conservative talk show host Mark Levin posted the following. In 21 years on radio, I have never missed a radio show to watch a movie. Last night, my wife urged me to join her and the special viewing of The Sound of Freedom on Capitol Hill. Speaker McCarthy invited members of both parties to the special event. Not a single Democrat congressman attended. Not one. We watched this movie, and it will shake you up. It will open your eyes. Mark Levin finishes at the bottom saying, I strongly encourage you to watch this movie as soon as possible. If you're someone who doesn't like Mark Levin and that's a trigger for you, please realize that all he said was factual. And here is the latest video evidence showing foul play at the movie theater. You guys let me know what you think.
So I took me and my daughters to go watch The Sound of Freedom today, and about an hour and 20 minutes into the movie, we get a random emergency evacuation. None of the staff knows what's going on. The mall wasn't being evacuated, just the theater. All they did was refund us our money with no explanation. But I guess you can call me a conspiracy theorist.
Conservative media continues to stand up and fight for Sound of Freedom against all of the attacks. And I really enjoyed this piece here at dailyadvance.com. The left unjustly slams Sound of Freedom film. Mark Goddard writes, "This is no longer a battle between left and right. This is a battle between good and evil. Sanity versus insanity. Once again, the leftists in the media went into full destruction mode to disparage anyone associated with the movie." The Washington Post headline stated, "Sound of Freedom is a box office hit whose star embraces Q conspiracy." And I love how Mark closes the article saying, "Can someone please stop the consistently inappropriate behavior of Joe Biden around small children? If he's not sniffing their hair, he's nibbling on their shoulder and trying to kiss them like he did last week in Helsinki, Finland. Leave the children alone. And let me take just a moment to remind you of all the different attacks that the media has carried out against this film. After the media realized that the movie was a smash hit, they began attacking the main star Jim Caviezel and the film as Q conspiracy. When that didn't work, their next attack was to discredit the accuracy of the film, basically calling it fiction. When that didn't work, the next thing they did was try to attack the people who funded the movie years ago. They couldn't stop the momentum, so the next point of attack was to publicly criticize and question where all the profit that Angel Studios has made is going to go. They've painted the studio as being guilty to only releasing the film for the profits and actually not supporting the movie and the movement that the film is about. And of course, that is ridiculous because the movie has only been out 3 weeks. Let's be a little patient and see what Angel Studios has to say. And the most recent attack in the media was the smear campaign of Tim Ballard himself. And the thing about media is that all of those headlines play on people's emotions. There's a great many people in our country that want to believe those headlines. And they're going to choose to believe those headlines whether they are accurate or not. And unfortunately, I have a huge example of that in our closing segment. In the last 24 hours, a video has gone viral. It has hit over 2.4 million views, and apparently it's about Mark Wahlberg trashing Hollywood and saying that Hollywood is responsible for the sabotage of Sound of Freedom. Is this true? Before I weigh in, let's go directly to the source. For the record, I had to skip to the 3-minute and 36-second mark before the video actually starts to address its main premise.
Mark Wahlberg, the renowned actor and producer, is the driving force behind Sound of Freedom. In a recent revelation that sent shockwaves through the industry, he courageously exposed the evil forces that sought to bury this impactful project. So, what exactly did Mark Wahlberg say which has sent shockwaves to Hollywood? Online, viral posts are making the rounds, alleging that Hollywood actor Mark Wahlberg made a striking statement. Hollywood pedophiles have nowhere left to hide. These claims have gained traction on Twitter, garnering hundreds of thousands of views. However, remnants of the story's blurb shared on social media suggest that Wahlberg had also asserted that a potent group of Hollywood insiders had initiated a war against the industry elite. According to the STG report online, Wahlberg exposed a disturbing side of Hollywood, shedding light on a dark network allegedly involved in pedophilia, child prostitution, and human trafficking. He refers to those in control as sick freaks and claims a pervasive culture of silence within the industry exists. Wahlberg passionately praises Jim Caviezel and Mel Gibson, hailing them as American heroes with balls of steel for fearlessly challenging the Hollywood system. This news was remarked as fake. Nevertheless, there is currently no substantiated evidence to support the claim that Wahlberg made such a statement, and his representative has categorically denied any association with it.
So after seeing that video and hearing what they had to say, and no matter how badly I would love for that all to be true, everything we just heard in that video is unsubstantiated. There is no evidence at all to support a word of what we heard. And what's even crazier about that is at the very end of the clip, the narrator tells you none of this is real. But they did it in such a way to speed it right by people to where they're going to walk away and believe this great mistruth. It took me about 30 seconds in watching this video to realize the fakeness involved. The channel that updated this is called Drama Bay. Again, the video was posted yesterday with 2.4 million views now, with 40,000 thumbs up likes. And if you go through the comment section, you're going to see so many different users commenting, and they believe all of that false information. This is a great example of how spin can happen both ways. And even though I certainly recognize my own biases being a conservative and a Christian and a patriotic American, it doesn't mean that everybody else who is a conservative or a Christian are not beyond reproach. Anytime we look at headlines in media and information, we have to address two things. What are their biases and what are their motives? The motive for this video is clear. Make as much money as I can by drawing on people's emotions and fanaticism. And just a friendly reminder, if you have an appreciation for truth and honesty with no spin, hit the subscribe button. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode here at Coach's Archives. Thank you so much for being here. I couldn't do it without you and your support. All of you guys in the comments have been very supportive for me and this young channel. This is not just my channel, this is your channel too. I pray that the good Lord rains down his many blessings on you and draws you nearer to him in Jesus' precious name. Amen.